I mean, we talk a lot about Amorim and his stubbornness when it comes to his system. But surely something has to be said about Ineos because they hired a manager who plays a particular sort of system, knowing that the squad composition is not necessarily built to accommodate that system to its absolute best. And then they don't also have the financial might to overhaul the squad in an entire window. It's all a bit of a confusing mess, isn't it?
Well, I think the problem that they've got is they've got a lot of players that they need to move out. But the players that they need to move out are on ridiculous money. I mean, I'm a big fan of Marcus Rashford, but he's had one good season and you make him one of the highest paid players in the Football League. You bring Sancho in on ridiculous money. And Sir John Ratcliffe's come in there. I mean, he knows what he's doing. You don't become a success in business like he has without being ruthless and knowing how to deal with it. So Rashford was the scapegoat, as it were, for me, because I would have kept him without a shadow of a doubt. But he was the scapegoat because when you're looking to bring players in, if he's on 350 grand a week, that's the starting mark. So we get him out first. And that's what they've had to do. Up till now, no players left in this transfer window. Yeah. And they've spent how much money?
Yeah, to be fair, Garnacho has just signed for Chelsea. It was announced about a couple of hours ago. So Garnacho has moved for about £40 million. Rasmus Højlund is rumoured to be closing in on a move to Napoli as well for a substantial amount of money. Jadon Sancho is the one that we don't have a bit of clarity on at the minute. Malacia is still at the club as well. Michael, I want to talk a little bit about Ruben's future. Do you still see him being United's manager after the international break? I know that this might sound like a bit of a knee-jerk question, but the reality is the picture that he was sort of painting in the aftermath of that defeat against Grimsby was that, saying stuff like my players spoke loud and clear about what they truly want, almost hinting like the players don't necessarily like his system. Do you reckon, and so far, judging by the performances, do you think there is a decision for the board to make, or do you think the Amorim project is not over yet?
I still think they'll give him time. I think they fully believe in what he's doing. I think he's trying to change the philosophy at the football club. He's trying to get rid of some of the deadwood and bring in fresh players that suit the Man United style. I think they need some more leaders in the team. Obviously, you've got Bruno stepping up to the plate. You've got Harry Maguire that's on the bench. But like I said before, it's going to take time. So Jim Ratcliffe has come out and said that they don't have enough money to spend, and then he goes out and spends, what, 200 million on three strikers? Yeah. Whether they needed Sesko or not is another thing. I don't think he's fit enough and ready for the Premier League yet. And he's spending 60, 70 million on a striker. When you spend that sort of money, you want them to hit the ground running, especially playing for Man United. So, I still think he'll be the manager after the international window. I think today's game has probably saved him. I think he would have been under enormous pressure if they didn't beat Burnley, especially Burnley coming up from the Championship.
Carlton, let me perhaps rephrase the question. The argument that, or rather the point that Michael was making was from the point of view of the board, that they still have the faith in him. But Ruben has also on more than one occasions hinted that he would be more than willing to leave the job when he doesn't think that he can pull through with it. And he even admitted in an interview that there were a couple of occasions, at least last season, that he genuinely contemplated leaving the club. Judging by his comments in midweek at Grimsby, judging by his body language today, do you think that he leaves, or do you think that he's still got his heart and soul into the project?
Listen, he's an emotional man. We've seen that. He's a young man. He's emotional. You've heard the supporters today. They're well behind him. They're well behind him. And Manchester United supporters will give him the time. They've realised that it's needed a massive overhaul, and it's going to take time. Whoever comes in there is going to have a difficult period to get through this, right? The only question mark I've had against him is while he's doing it, pick a system, pick a side to get your results while you're doing that overall, right? You see, the problem that you've got where he's come from at Sporting, half the games in the league are gimmies. You know, this is going to be interesting when we see Gyökeres, right? Gyökeres, I think, will score goals. I can't believe nobody else had a bet on him before he left for Coventry. But it's interesting at Sporting, all the goals he scored were against teams in the lower half of the league, right? So I'm looking at Amorim, as well as what he's done at Sporting. This is a major step up for him in you know, his managerial career. So he needs time, but he also needs to understand that whilst he's doing the overall, as it were, because he's not going to be able to get that done in 2 or 3 transfer windows. It's going to take time. So in that time, he's got to get results.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get results, you've seen how under pressure he is. And we're talking about Burnley here. Look at the games they've got after the international break. And Sesko, really, you can see he's not up to speed. And he's, you're hoping after this international break, he's got that fitness going.
Yeah, there's a couple of big weeks for Ruben Amorim coming up next. Obviously, you've got the international window. But then after that, United have got back-to-back games against Man City and Chelsea. And that's the one that's truly going to test his resolve.